Economist, watching closely what's happening at a macro level. How ripe is South Africa, given the macro environment, for this bold industrialization strategies?
Thanks, Musidi, and thanks for the opportunity to chat about this interesting paper. I think the world economy is quite prepped for a big sort of re-industrialization theme, and it comes from a couple of aspects. So, from an economic aspect, we know that global growth is slowing this decade, as the World Bank has stated, is likely to be the slowest growth decade that we've had since the 60s when the World Bank data began. And so that means that economies are starting to look towards inward resilience and looking to have policies that actually can promote internally led growth in an environment that is shifting so drastically. Secondly, we've had an enormous AI technology boom, which has led to an uptick in productivity. So, the types of manufacturing or industrialization that we're thinking of is probably not the same as the traditional ones that we were used to, but rather the advanced, higher value add tech that is now instituted into the manufacturing and industrialization sector. Thirdly, we've also seen massive shifts on a geopolitical scale. And that means that, countries are now looking to national security issues. They're looking towards protectionist policies. And so that means that we also need to see some industrial sovereignty coming back to economies around the world. And then fourthly, there's also an issue around, the green rethink, ensuring that we are ticking the boxes on the environmental regulations and ensuring that we are also investing in the spaces that would have traditionally be underinvested in order to cover all our bases. Of course, South Africa in that context has a couple of pain points. So we know that, corruption is an issue and that can deter foreign inward investment into South Africa. We also know that South Africa has a skills deficit. And so we do need to ensure that our regulatory and economic environment is enabling for that investment to take place. So, as an example, if we have a skills deficit on certain areas of the economy, to ensure that we've got a visa regime that allows for the inward movement of these skills into the South African base. Looking at the reliability of our energy, logistics, water sector, and all three of those are quite pivotal to a reindustrialization strategy. So for South Africa, there are a couple of pain points in order to get this going. But I would say that the time is ripe for the global economy from those four aspects. This is the time that economies are becoming more inward looking, looking to increase economic resilience through policy-induced measures in a world that is becoming, geostrategically aligned in a different way.